Поштувани гледачи, добар ден. Денес во емисијата ТВ Интервju имаме еден интересен соговорник, многу невообичаен. Господинот Феликс Кеги е представник на Махариши Европскиот универзитет. Тој е во Македонија малку подолго време и во ова интервју ќе ни објасни два аспекти на неговата посета. Како Махариши универзитетот треба да се етаблира во Македонија и зошто? А втората тема е како еден странец гледа на Македонија од аспект на она што може објективно да го согледа. Господине Кеги, добар ден и добре дојдовте во интервјуто на телевизија Сонце. Моето прво прашање до вас е како представник на Махариши фондацијата во Европа. Која е вашата идеја за изградба, односно етаблирање на еден Maharishi универзитет во Македонија?
The Maharishi organization has many different universities and schools around the world, and one of our most prestigious university is in America. It's called Maharishi University of Management in Iowa. And there we have a few thousand students, and we have seen the beautiful effect it has if all the students practice transcendental meditation as part of the school curriculum. So they meditate in the morning for 20 minutes, some do advanced techniques for a little bit longer, and then they do it also in the evening. And what we have seen is that the students are performing much better, meaning they are more awake, more alert, more motivated, so they have better grades, higher intelligence, higher creativity. And what we have seen is that their brain becomes more coherent, more orderly in its functioning. But that is not just restricted to the student. Not just the student gets better, but the whole university gets better, more esteemed, more excellent. And what we have seen, if the university is big enough, if there are enough students who collectively practice transcendental meditation, then even society changes. That means there's more positivity, more unity, more harmony in society. Now in Europe we don't have such a university yet of a grand scale. And so we have been looking in many different locations where to establish a university for 2,800 students. That is the square root of 1% of the whole European population. 2,800 students studying together and practicing transcendental meditation together and advanced techniques like yogic flying. They will raise the collective consciousness not just of the country the university is located, but of the whole of Europe. And we see it as a way to ensure the unity and security and the invincibility and the peace of Europe. So we were looking, like I said, in many locations, and one of my colleagues from Macedonia, he said, why don't you come to Macedonia? It's a beautiful country. So 3-4 years ago I came here for the first time, and he took us to Lake Ohrid. And I must say I was absolutely impressed by the stunning beauty of that lake, and we found it an ideal location for a university because it's quiet, which is very good when you want to meditate, and the nature is intact, the lake is grand, has a beautiful feeling there. So we decided that Macedonia should be or could be a very ideal location for this university.
Дали може да ни кажете каде е точно таа локација на брегот на Охридското езеро?
We are following an ancient system of architecture called Vastuvidya, where one considers the influence of the cosmos onto the earth when you build a building. So one of the things you consider is the orientation. How do you orient your building? And I noticed that, for example, in the Orthodox Church, traditionally, particularly in, I don't know how strongly it is done here in Macedonia, but in many countries I've observed that the churches are oriented to the east, so that the altar is in the east, facing the rising sun. So we have decided we would like to be on that shore of Lake Ohrid so that the sun is rising over the lake. So it means we will be on the west shore. And that means from Struga towards the border to Albania when you drive to Pogradec. Somewhere there on an ideal location, and we have already located an ideal place, or a second one or a third one, where we could build the university.
Дали во реализацијата на овој проект досега остваривте некои конкретни разговори, некои конкретни иницијативи за реализација, за негова реализација?
Yes. That was the first thing we did. We met with the local people, meaning the mayor and his whole council. We met on the national level with the government, with different ministers, like the Minister of Education and the Minister of Transportation and other ministers. And we prepared a very thorough business plan about how much investment it would take to build up the university in stages on Lake Ohrid. So we have gone very deeply into it, yes.
На каков прием наидовте во вашите контакти со локалните и регионалните и националните функционери за реализација на овој проект?
You see, we would not have continued with the project. We would not have continued with the project if we didn't feel welcome. So immediately we wanted to know from the local authority, are you welcoming the project? And they were very clearly saying yes. Mm-hmm. Then we also asked the same question to the office of the Prime Minister and of the President of the Republic of Macedonia. And also from there we got an indication, not a very strong indication, but an indication, yes, we are in favor of a new university being established on such a grand scale.
Дали имате проект колку треба да обезбедите фонд инвестиционе за да се реализира тој Махариши универзитет на брегот на Охридското езеро?
Yes, but I don't have the figures right now in my head. I have asked for the book to come, but I don't have it right now here. But it's in a two-digit million amount, 20-30 million in this range.
Million what?
Euro.
Дали може да им објасните на нашите гледачи како е можно тие студенти таму при нивните медитации да влијаат позитивно на блиската и поширока околина за да се етаблира мир, хармонија и единство?
Yes, transcendental meditation is a very simple mental technique. You sit comfortably, like we sit here, then you close the eyes, and then you use a mental technique which draws the attention inside. Normally our attention goes through the senses outside, through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through tasting, through touching. We sense the world outside. During meditation, you sit quietly, close your eyes, and allow the attention to go inside. And inside we have a very rich world. We know we have emotions, we have our mind with many thoughts, we have our intellect, we have an ego. But on the basis of all of that, we have a state or a level of consciousness that's completely peaceful, completely quiet, completely unbounded state of awareness. The source from where every thought comes, the source from where all intelligence comes, the source from where all creativity comes. It's a unified field, completely harmonious, silent, in itself, permanently available. It's like the ocean, completely flat, the experience in that moment, but when the ocean rises in waves, that's like when we have thoughts and action. So during meditation, the ocean of your mind settles down and becomes completely quiet. And it's a highly enjoyable experience. You're highly awake, but not awake of anything outside, just awake in yourself. And when you come out of meditation, you feel clearer, you feel stronger, you feel happier, you feel more balanced, you feel more at peace with yourself and within yourself.
Дали може да ни кажете некои искуства од оваа техника на трансцендентална медитација во некои други земји што сте ги практицирале преку Махариши проектот, да дадете точни податоци за постигнат успех.
So since 50 years, Maharishi has been teaching transcendental meditation around the globe. So many millions of people have learned it. And we have implemented transcendental meditation in many schools and universities with many hundred thousands of students altogether. And the experience is always the same, that those students who learn meditation, they are more creative, more intelligent, more awake, they perform better, and not just in one field, but in many different fields. That's why, if I may allow, to show a book written by my good friend who has been here just a few days ago, Dr. Ashley Deans, and he has written a book called A Record of Excellence, how good the students do when they practice transcendental meditation. So we are very, very satisfied with the results on the individual level, but we are also very satisfied with the results on a collective level. For the first time, we had a big enough group in the United States some 2 years ago, meaning big enough meditators who could influence positively the whole of the American collective consciousness. That means above 2,000 people who practice meditation together. And the moment we had it, you could see the change taking place in America. We could observe it, that suddenly there was more openness, and for example, Obama got elected. But it was not just that Obama got elected, but a whole new world view got elected, of more openness, of less animosity, of understanding for the environment. So we are convinced, totally convinced, that when you raise collective consciousness, the thinking becomes more comprehensive, more intelligent, and less egoistic, less narrow-minded.
Дали сте оптимист дека ако тој Махариши универзитет се етаблира во Македонија и почне да работи со трансцендентална медитација, во Македонија ќе завладее тој мир, таа хармонија на која што вие инсистирате?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You see, if we do not strengthen that level of unity in Macedonia, Macedonia is at risk. There are so many different forces pulling on Macedonia, and the economy at this stage is not very strong. The strength of Macedonia is it's a soil of ancient culture. But this ancient culture, that liveliness is asleep. It's not a very vibrant culture at this stage. That's why enlivening that transcendental level in collective consciousness will strengthen the unity in the country. It will strengthen the unity in the country, and it will strengthen also the liveliness in the country. So there will be more innovation, more creativity, more intelligence, a broader comprehension, a greater vision.
За колку време може овој Махариши универзитет да се етаблира, да почне да работи и да ги даде првите резултати?
This is a very difficult question, because it doesn't depend on us entirely. It depends also on the government, because we have clearly specified from our side that which land we would like to use. Now some of that land belongs to the central government, some of the land belongs to private individuals. So it has to be, still a way has to be found to make that land available. We are not going to buy the land, we are going to invest to build on the land and to run the university. So we're looking forward for a joint collaboration with the government. The government welcomes us, provides us some facility, so that when we make our investments, that we can rapidly go ahead.
А она што го спомнавте пред малку за опасноста од кризната состојба во која што се наоѓа Македонија, со немањето на таа трансцендентална медитација. Вие како човек кој е странец, човек кој може да ја види Македонија од една дистанца и временска и просторна, што мислите, во каква состојба е конкретно сега Македонија?
I should ask you this question. I'm not from Macedonia. But, I mean, coming from Switzerland, there's definitely a clear difference on the income level, on the liveliness of the economy. Also on the political level, there's much more friction here than when I'm in Switzerland. So there's no question there is a great need for more coherence, more harmony, more unity, more integration within the collective consciousness. Because you also have to be strong with the challenges coming from abroad. Different interests from Greece, different interests from Albania, different interests from Bulgaria, different interests from Serbia. All are pulling a little bit, or maybe very much, I don't know, you know better than I do, on the nation. And there's no question that the economy needs to blossom. It's not enough to get money from those who have left the country and sending money home. You need stronger industries, you need stronger service industries.
Дали ви е познато какви се инвестициите во Македонија сега во однос на ова што го велите? Дали се инвестира во економија или во неекономски проекти?
Good question. It's always difficult if a Macedonian asks a foreigner. I should ask you how you feel about it. But basically, you're asking somebody who is active in the field of education. So I would say the most profitable investment is in the development of the human resources, developing the brain of the Macedonians. Not that they are underdeveloped, but they can develop further, because on average we use maybe 5% of our mental potential, and so there's still a 20-fold increase, which is possible. And I feel that will be by far the most profitable investment, because it's after all the Macedonians with the entrepreneurial spirit, with their creativity and intelligence, which will drive the development. And it's not so much if you build a monument or if you build a factory, which is all necessary, but it's the people who drive the business and the economy.
Вие сте од Швајцарија. Швајцарија е мултиетничка држава. Како вие од Швајцарија гледате на меѓуетничките проблеми во Македонија?
A strong nation has to be integrated. If the nation is not integrated, it's a weak nation. It opens up the possibility for people within the nation to destroy it, and it's easy from outside to destroy a nation if it's not integrated. So integrity, integration, unity, harmony is absolutely necessary. The way to do that, the most fundamental way I'm aware of doing, is to strengthen the collective consciousness, meaning the consciousness of all Macedonians together produce a collective consciousness. Now, if each Macedonian is only using 5% of his potential, so the nation only uses 5%, even in terms of unity. If each Macedonian raises his level of consciousness, or at least some of them are raising their consciousness, automatically the collective consciousness rises. It's like when you have a forest. In the autumn, the trees start to get colorful, and then you say the whole forest is colorful. Like this, a peaceful, integrated nation depends on how many peaceful, integrated individuals are there and how strong they are. So I would also recommend here the same like we had in the beginning, a group of people practicing a technique of meditation, we call transcendental meditation, to enliven unity and integration and harmony. Because on the superficial level we cannot do it. Just putting up big flagpoles and big flags, that will not create unity. Because the moment you go into another part of Macedonia, they put up all the Albanian flag in competition to it. So that will not create unity, neither that flag nor the other flag. The flag is an expression, but it's not creating unity. Unity is created in consciousness, on the level of feeling, on the level of understanding, on the level of will. We want to be a united nation, an integrated nation.
Какво е вашето искуство како швајцарец? Како се во Швајцарија уредени овие меѓуетнички односи? Бидејќи познато Швајцарија е меѓуетничка држава.
You know, historically we had it much easier than Macedonia, because we are practicing it since more than 700 years to be an integrated nation. And from beginning on, those who joined the federation, the Swiss federation, they did out of their own will. No one was forced. And the borders of Switzerland were not drawn by some outside forces. The Swiss decided, or the people who live in this area decided, we want to be a nation. Whereas in the Republic of Macedonia, we know in the whole of Balkan, it has been at the crossroad of east and west. You had so many invasions from every side. The borders were redrawn again and again. There were huge migrations coming here during the last few thousand years. So it has been not that easy, obviously, to form an integrated nation. And so I cannot really say we can look at Switzerland of how to do it. But I can definitely say we can look towards where do we find unity in nature. And unity in nature we find when we look into physics in the unified field. And what is the unified field in us human beings? It's consciousness. When consciousness is completely unified in the transcendental state. So like in physics, we see a unified field from where all the diversity comes. So we can have unity in consciousness, and from there we see all the diversity spring up and look beautiful. Like in a beautiful tree, the sap is colorless. You don't see it. But the sap becomes the green leaves, the sap becomes the red flower, the sap becomes the very gentle petal of the flower, but it also becomes the strong bark. The sap, which is transcendental, you don't see it when you look at the tree, is nourishing the whole tree. Like this, consciousness is nourishing all of life, meaning all the diversity. There's no problem to have an ethnic group of Macedonians, an ethnic group of Albanians, an ethnic group of Turkish, an ethnic group of Bulgarians. There's not a problem in that. The problem is the unity has to be strengthened in the consciousness of the people.
Ова што го велите сега е за некоја блиска иднина. Конкретно, во сегашно време, како Македонија да се исправи на нозе кога имаме негирање на името од страна на Грција, кога имаме голем притисок од албанците, или бугарите, или србите?
That's why I'm here, very clearly. I come to Macedonia with one big desire, to find a strong partner, either with the universities, or with schools, or with the military, or even with the intelligence service, or with a company who understands if we want to have a strong Macedonia, we have to strengthen the collective consciousness and commits to build up a group, and for Macedonia 200 are enough, 200 who spend some time of the day, ideally an hour in the morning, ideally an hour in the evening, in enlivening the unity on the level of consciousness through practicing transcendental meditation and its advanced techniques. That's why I'm here. I'm speaking to deans, I'm speaking to school principals, I'm trying to speak to the minister, we are speaking to people working in the intelligence community. I'm happy to speak to the defense minister if he takes time to speak to me, to show how to make Macedonia safe, secure, invincible.
Дали сте оптимист дека ќе успеете да го реализирате ова што сте го наумиле?
Otherwise, why should I come here? Absolutely, yes.
Господин Кегел, ви благодарам на ова интервју и ви посакувам успех.
Thank you. I wish success for Macedonia.